Hey everybody, it's your bestie Lisa. We don't have our other bestie Michelle with us today, but I do have a special guest co-host with me today, Miss D. Miss D, say hi to everybody.
Hey y'all.
And thank you all so much for coming back and tuning in to Chit Chat once again. Now, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down there, and don't forget to turn on your notification because, as usual, we always got something to talk about, and you're always gonna want to hear it.
Okay, guys, so we have a lot to talk about today. So today's topic of today is basically a millennial's point of view versus an adult's point of view and how we handle things differently. And then we also have a hidden secret coming up from one of our bestie subscribers questions that they have. And then lastly, we're going to share that our future entrepreneur for the month. So stay tuned for that too, okay?
All right, so let's go ahead and get the chatting. All right, besties. So jumping right into our topic, we really want to talk about being tired versus just not caring anymore. And what I actually mean about that is, I know that when I was younger, a lot of things I did, I had more patience for, I put up with, I had more energy for, I had more time for. Now that I'm older, it's like I ain't got time for that. I ain't dealing with that, or whatever. So I don't know if it's because of maturity or because it's just like I'm just tired of dealing with the same stuff. You know what I mean? Like, so how do you feel about that? Like when you look back at your childhood or when you first became a teenager before you entered into adulthood, are there things that you dealt with or you put up with or put time or allowed to consume your time then versus what you do now?
Yeah, I feel like when I was young, I didn't have that much experience in what I do now. So
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what I was getting myself into. So I just didn't. I feel like we don't care first before we get tired. So we don't care. It's not that we don't care, that we don't know. You can't really know what you get yourself into until you go through it.
Right.
Because to have to like, I can't be like, I don't want to get cheated on again if I never even got a relationship before. So you got to go through an experience to have that experience to know what's coming after that. So being young, we just go into situations. Or I'll speak for myself. I just did stuff to gain that experience. Not that I didn't care, just because I believed that it was a different outcome. Like, and my mom was telling me like, try to give me advice like, I've been through the same thing, don't do this, don't do that, but I always felt like your same thing is different from this because your times
Mm.
are different. So even though that didn't work for you back then, it might work for me now because times are different. So I would just do on my own, try to do stuff, go through stuff. Then I grow to get tired, and then come high school, I had already been through so much. Come middle school and freshman year and sophomore year, I couldn't really enjoy the end of my high school years because I wanted to grow up so fast,
Right.
and I wanted to learn stuff on my own because I felt like I could handle it, and I always took responsibility for it. Regardless, like if this don't work out, I'm not gonna blame everybody else for my decision. I'm gonna be like, okay, that's on me, which is bad too because then you got all that weight built up on you too. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we do put up with more stuff as we're young, and then we get tired. And then as we get older, we know what's coming. We know what stuff is now, so we put up with less stuff as you get older. I feel like.
Well, do you think that is situational? Because I know,
Yeah.
like, for me, like, my mom and I, we talked about a lot of stuff, and she did the same thing. I mean, it's natural because you don't want your child to go through what you've been through, especially if it's a bad experience or you feel like, hey, I already know what that outcome is, this, that, and the
Right.
third. However, although that's natural for a mom to want to do that with their child, it's also natural for the child to say, you just don't want me to have fun and you just don't want me to enjoy life. Just because that happened to you don't mean it's
Right.
gonna happen to me. Because we always think we're smarter than what we actually are. So when my mom told me a lot of stuff, I'm gonna be honest, a lot of things I did listen to straight off the bat because I felt like we had a good rapport. I knew she wasn't gonna tell me nothing wrong, and I used it as a guideline. The things I chose not to listen to, and being honest, is because I want to do it anyway.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Not that I don't think she telling me right or I don't think, it's good for me. Is
Right.
because
Yeah.
I want to do it, I'm just not going to listen. I'm going to be
Right.
rebellious and do it. Because at the end of the day, when we make decisions, we decide on doing stuff based off of just what I want to do.
Right.
Good, bad, or indifferent. Whether I choose to listen, whether I choose not to
Right.
listen. You know what I mean? So are there things that you wish that you had to listen to the wise counsel of? not even a parent, but just like an older adult or older sibling or somebody that,
it's kind
you
of
know what I'm
like
saying?
for me, like it is situational. Everybody is different. So speaking on my behalf,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I did listen. It's not that I wasn't listening. It was that I hear you, but I already have my mind made up. So I'm gonna do whatever I wanted to do. Not saying it was anything crazy
Right.
or bad, but I'm gonna go on what I decide to do, and I'm gonna have you in the back of my head, and I'm gonna know if it goes the way that you said it would. Okay, not like you were right, I'm wrong type of thing, but okay, you gave me good advice for this one. I appreciate that. Like I didn't listen. My bad. That's on me. But it's not that I wasn't like, because you said do I wish I would have listened. I felt like I did listen. It was just more of I hear you, but I'm gonna do it anyway because I feel like I said earlier, because just because you had the situation doesn't mean the same situation will happen to me. Like stuff is different now than what it was back then in y'all day.
Right.
And then I feel like I went blank. I don't know. I just feel like I always feel like it's different, and I feel like I didn't want to. If I listen to you and I don't do it, in my head I'm always gonna think, what would have happened if I took that chance of doing what I wanted to do, what my
Right.
heart decided to do? Like what I don't want to live like that. I don't want to live with what is. What if I did do
Right.
it? What if I did do it? So I really just do it and be like, I did do it. And they ain't gonna do it again.
Right.
So that's how I feel.
And I get that because there were a lot of times when I did take the advice or follow in the footsteps, like because I grew up church, for instance, all church. My grandmother was the assistant pastor. You know, my mom is a pastor. My aunt, like it just was all church. So that became a part of my life before I chose it to be a part of my life, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? So a lot of decisions and stuff I made is because I didn't want to embarrass the family, or I didn't want to get brought in front of the church to, you know what I mean, have to apologize and save face and this, that, and the third. And then I would look back at stuff and be like, if I hadn't done so and so or listened to them, I wouldn't even be depressed right now. I wouldn't even be feeling like this now. You know what I mean? And then honestly, the older I got, when I saw certain situations, I was like, but you the same person that made me feel like crap, or you know what I mean, beat me in the head or whatever. But now I realized you was doing the same thing. So when I started having kids, I tried not to parent from that standpoint. Like, I'm going to always give advice or give my opinion, but I always try to do it in a structured way with, what do you think? Like, what is it that you want to do? You know what I mean? Because I never wanted my kids to look and be like, if I hadn't listened to mama, then I wouldn't be here. Or mama should have told me, blah, blah, blah. Then I could avoid it. Because it could go both ways. Sometimes we blame people for not telling us, feeling like, well, you supposed to be my big sister, or you supposed to be my mama, you supposed to be my friend. Why you ain't warn me? And then you know what I mean. Then we look at it like, man, and you know what I'm saying. Yeah. So, what I want to do, if you don't mind, is I want to do what I call flash questions. So I got these situational questions that I want to ask, and you can ask me as well. And I want to get your take on it as well as me giving my opinion on it. So, what do you think about that? All right, besties and bros. So the first question I want to ask Miss D is, do you feel like adults automatically deserve respect?
No.
No? And why not?
I feel like respect has to be earned, regardless of age, gender. Respect has to be earned.
So as a child, you're not trained or taught to automatically respect your parents? You think your parents have to earn respect from a child?
Oh no, see, now that you put it that way. Cause my mom didn't play about respect. It was just kind of a given thing. Like that's your parents. Don't be disrespectful. I mean, that's me. Other kids, they have to be taught being respectful to their parents. But like some stuff, I wasn't perfect. I slipped up sometimes, and my mom like, "Don't be disrespectful." And I have in my head, okay, that's disrespectful to her. Don't do that again. So it's kind of learning with parents. I feel like it's different with parents because you learn what their respect is.
Right.
So then after that, then respect's automatically for your parents. I feel like that's given anyway. For parents, I feel like it's always.
But you don't feel like for all adults?
No.
See, and as an adult,
no.
But even as a child, I always thought or was taught that adults automatically deserve respect, because you have to respect your elders. Now that's biblical. That's Bible. So I feel like, yeah, you automatically should give an adult respect, but there are times where I feel like that respect may be lessened, should I say,
Yeah.
or taken away. But right off the cuff, I'm gonna automatically
Yeah.
respect an adult. I'm gonna, you know what I mean? I'm gonna automatically.
I might have said it different. I might have said it wrong. I'm saying.
So you want to change your answer?
Yeah, I'm not.
All right.
It's like, I guess, yeah, it's automatic, because if your parents train you to always respect your elders, because I do always respect my elders, I'm gonna automatically assume to respect you. But if you disrespect me, that's gonna revert my respect. Because now you're being disrespectful. You gotta earn that respect back, like teachers, stuff like that. If you come off rude to me, all right, I'm gonna be respectful because I was taught to respect my elders. But if you continue, okay, now we're gonna be even now.
So, okay. So now I'm going to have to disagree with that. I'm going to tell you why. Because as a child or a young adult or a teenager, I don't feel like you're ever going to be even with an adult. Now, here's the thing with that. Like, okay, let's go back to your example for teachers, for instance. If a teacher is consistently rude or disrespectful, because some people do have power trips. Some people do take their authority and they run with it, or they feel like, just because I'm the teacher, I can say this, I can do this, I can get away with it. So here's my thing. It's not about taking away the respect you have for them, because that is your character. And what you don't want to do is ever give anybody your power or allow what they say and what they do make you act out of character. So what you can do is handle it different. Well, I'm not going to be all this, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, da da da, this, that, and the third. But what I will do is say, Miss So and so or Mr. So and so, I feel like that was very, disrespectful, this, then the third, have a conversation. And if you don't feel comfortable with doing that, then you tell your parent. And you let your parent handle that adult. But as that child, as that young adult, your respect for that adult should never, you know what I mean?
Does that make sense? No, that's very, very right. But saying that to a millennial, that's hard. That's something hard for a millennial to do. That's a whole lesson. Millennials are not gonna be like, Mr. Thomas, I'm sorry, that was very rude. We're not gonna do that. We're gonna be like, you want to disrespect me, then I'm gonna disrespect you. That's how I always felt, because you're not gonna talk to me any type of way. Cause we gonna get at the same level, and then I'm gonna tell my mom. I'm like, Mom, I'm letting you know right now, I had to get into it with my teacher because they wanted me disrespectful first. But at first, I'm gonna be respectful. I'm gonna give them a chance, a strike. But I do get what you're saying.
Cause here's the lesson in that. When you're growing up in grammar school or high school or college, it's supposed to be preparing you and structuring you for the real world. So with that same scenario, your teacher in essence is your boss.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? And regardless of whether you like or dislike or whatever that your boss is doing, until you make ways or avenues where you own your own job or you own your own business, you have to answer to them. They have your paycheck. So that teacher, you're going to have to get the study notes from them. They're the one administering the tests and things like that. So is a way to handle it. And the old people used to say you catch more flies or bees with honey than you do with vinegar. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I need something from you. So it's never going to be a time where I'm going to be like, oh, I'm about to get out of character and da-da-da, this, that, and the third, until I can make some type of way, an avenue where I don't need you anymore. So until I can become the teacher, you know what I mean? So you got to look at it from that point of view.
So a millennial will have to be mature in themselves in order to do that. Because it's not even that it's immature, but you just have to have a level of maturity to be able to handle it that way. Because that does make sense. So I feel like respect is an authority thing. Like, because like you're saying, like, if I have a friend my same age in that situation, respect is going to be earned. It's not going to be, if you disrespect me, I'm going to respect you because you're my age. You're on the same level.
Right.
But if you're older, then I feel like you're right. It plays into play with that.
Yeah. All right, so next question. What makes someone a good or bad friend?
Okay, so I feel like a good friend is someone that equals out your friendship on their own way. So I'm not giving too much, and you're not giving too little.
Right.
We're both giving even. We're both going half and half. That's what I feel like a good friend is.
So, and I agree wholeheartedly, because we're taught, my pastor teaches all the time that a friendship, anything that has ship connected to it, is supposed to take you somewhere, because ship is an item that's used to travel. When you're on a ship, you're going from one place to another. If that makes sense. So a relationship, a friendship, a partnership, it's supposed to be give and take. You know what I mean? So if I'm the one that always giving and never able to receive, then that relationship is unbalanced. However, what do you think about, suppose you're like very confident and strong, and and you don't have the same issues that your friend have, so your friend is always venting out and pulling on you for advice, and needing help and stuff like that, but you don't have that same issue. In essence, it's not balanced out, because every time you turn around, they need some advice, they need some help, you know what I mean, they need prayer, or they need your opinion. And on the other end, it's like, I can't even tell how my day was, because you always going through something that you know what I
I don't
mean?
think that it makes that person a good friend, because you have to, as a good friend, you have to make sure. So if I'm on the phone saying, "Hey Lisa, da 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 da," vent about my whole day. After that, I'm gonna be like, "Yeah, but how was your day though? You good? Everything good with you?" I feel like as a
Right.
good friend, you have to throw that in there to keep that balance. Like, yeah, I'm talking about me all week though. Is everything okay with you?
Right.
Such and such.
Right.
Yeah, how y'all been? I saw such and such. Everything good? You have to keep throwing that balance in. You can't just keep da 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 every time you call a phone. Yes, I'm tired. I'm tired of this. I'm depressed. Da 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 da. I'm mad. I'm sad. I'm da da da. And you're
Right.
not checking on your friend too. Because even if your friend seem happy, and I'd be like, well, I thought you was good.
Right.
I didn't ask. I can't
Right.
assume that my
So
friend
it's
is
like,
good.
even though you're happy, tell me about your happy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Makes sense. Yep.
So now I'm gonna take over, and I got a question for you.
All right.
Okay. Do you ever think it's okay to lie?
Um. So okay, I'm gonna say yes. And I'm gonna tell you why. Okay, so I love to watch stuff like SVU and NCIS, and Law and Order
Okay.
and stuff. And there has been times where I've seen, like, for instance, somebody has been obsessed with somebody, and a stalker or whatever. So you had to like get in their head and lie to like de-escalate a situation, or you know what I mean, or
Yeah.
you know
Okay.
what I mean. So I'm gonna say, but now, so reality wise, I'm gonna be honest, y'all. Listen, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not ever saying it's okay to lie, but I'm saying I understand sometimes if
Right.
you gotta lie,
Right.
because
Right.
sometimes you lie to keep peace. But I don't like to lie. I'm not a liar. This is not what I do, because it's like you tell this lie, then you gotta tell another one to
Right.
cover up that lie, then another one to cover up that one to
Right.
cover it. And it's too much time and energy, and I ain't got time, ain't got energy. You know what I'm saying? I
I
don't want to
agree.
have time and energy.
Yeah, I feel like it's a situational thing, like you said, the obsessed thing, or if someone come up to my door, I need like that situation like that. When it's about your safety, it's okay to lie. Only when it's about your safety.
Right.
But any other that, I'm a tourist. I don't sugarcoat nothing. I'm not gonna lie to you at all. To keep no peace, I'm gonna say what I have to say.
Just straight shooter.
Yeah.
She just gonna get it to him.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Okay, so my next question for you is, let's see. Is there anything that you wish your family would do more often together?
Yes. Okay. So that's kind of like a touchy subject for me, because
Oh gosh.
no, like okay, so all of my kids are grown. Everybody got their own place, and I had my first child when I was 17. So I'm 41 now.
Right.
Over the majority of my life, it's been me and my kids. So having to get used to being an empty nester, yeah, people say it's a good thing, and sometimes it is, but a lot of times it's not, because I miss my kids. You know what I'm saying? So I wish, and I have to respect the fact that they all have their own place now. You know what I mean? All y'all, like, everybody is doing their own thing. They're adulting, and I'm proud of that. I wear that as a trophy. Like, I raised them. They doing the thing. They ain't out there in the street.
Right.
They ain't in trouble. They actually being successful, productive adults. However, I wish, now we do talk every day.
Okay.
Every day. I talk to my kids every day. But I do wish we did more stuff like family time. So when everybody was in the house together, we used to have the game nights. I used to make us we movie time, you know what I mean?
Right.
We used to do the arts and craft, and I miss that. I miss us having together time. Like, it's different with calling you, or calling somebody else, or calling my son, and don't, you know what I mean, or whatever, versus all of us getting together and having. Most of the time, it's sad to say that families only get together when it's a special occasion or a tragedy. You're going to come together for a funeral. You're going to come together for a wedding. You're going to come together for the holidays. You know what I mean? You're going to come together for graduation. But just to say, hey, y'all, let's do Sunday dinner. I miss y'all. Let's hang out. Let's go on a family vacation. Although, we got our own stuff on, we don't do that. So yeah, I do. That's something I do wish that my family did together more. Togetherness. That's what I wish. What you think about that? Like, I mean, because, okay, as a young adult who's starting life on their own now, getting their own place and all that other kind of stuff, it's like, nah, I'm tired of y'all. Let me do my own thing.
Right.
Or what do you think about that?
When you first started high school, and like me, I'm not going to college. Yeah, I'm going to college, but it's not yet.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we just came out of that, so we experiencing life now, so we need that moment to be like, all right, I don't want to see y'all for a couple months. Because you want to get used to being on your own, and then let me miss you. Let me miss my sister. Let me miss my brother, so when we meet up, it's more of a, I miss you, give me a hug. I miss you. I haven't seen you in so long.
But I want you to give me a hug every time you see me. Like, if I see you today, I'm like, hey, boo. If I see you tomorrow, I'm going to be like, hey, boo.
See, no. That's just me, though. Like,
right.
Let me miss you. Now, calling every day, I feel like that's better, though. That's still good. I feel like, because some families don't call each other every day. Like, I feel like people that meet up only on Thanksgiving and stuff like that, and they don't never call each other, I feel like that's worse than families that you say we only meet up during special occasions or tragedies, but we still call each other every day. And we got FaceTime, so I see your face. So that's just how I feel.
Ain't that something? All right. So if you had the opportunity to be famous, would you, and why or why not?
Why would I be famous, or what would I be famous for?
Like, would you want to be famous if you had opportunity?
No.
Why?
I think that's just me because I'm kind of shy, so I don't want all the attention on me. Back then I wasn't that shy, but now after I went through the stuff I went through, I wouldn't want no attention. I like to be in the dark. Don't nobody bother me. I don't bother nobody. Everybody go their way. I go my way. Monkey see, monkey do. I don't want to see nobody. That's just how I feel. I wouldn't want to be famous. I'd rather be rich than famous.
Well, I mean, and I get that, and it makes a lot of sense. And here's the thing: I'm kind of torn between that, because for the same reason, like, being famous, your life, I feel like, no longer belongs to you. Everybody in your business. You gotta please everybody. Everybody want to have an opinion. Everybody, you know what I mean?
That's tiring.
However, I feel like famous people have so much influence on the world, because on the flip side of everybody being in your business and pulling on you and want to know this and want to know that or whatever, you have so many people that also look up to you. You have so many people that also, go by what you say, wait and see what you're doing next, so they can mimic that. So you can take that famous status and use it for good. Like, be a positive famous role model. You know what I mean? Be a positive famous person that can make change. For instance, when Obama ran for president, I really truly believe, okay, he was ordained for president, but I believe what helped get him in that position was all these celebrities that campaigned every time they had a concert, every time they did an interview or commercial. It was like, vote for Obama. Oh, Beyonce say vote for Obama, I'm voting for Obama. Jay-Z say vote for, I'm voting for, you know what I mean? And I think it was like, oh, Beehive, we doing what Queen Bee, you know what I'm saying?
Chris Brown, we doing Chris Brown.
He said vote for Obama, you know what I mean? So T.I. vote for Obama. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it just all depends. I know a lot comes with it, but they say with great power comes great responsibility, or something like that.
It's different, because I wouldn't want to be famous, but I wouldn't want to be a popular influencer.
Right.
So it's kind of different. Not famous, but just an influencer. Because that's different too.
Yeah, I get it. Okay, so here's a bit of a tricky one. What would cause you to actually end a relationship? And is there any way that once that relationship over, you feel like you would be able to forgive and forget and maybe renew that relationship? And it doesn't necessarily have to be a personal, intimate relationship, but that's kind of what I want to know. Like, if you were dating someone,
Okay.
what would cause you to be like, you know what, I'm done, no more chances?
I would say the inconsistency. Is that how you say it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and then it's inconsistency with stuff like that, but then also what caused me to end it is a consistent of failure. So like a consistent cheating, consistent lying,
Gotcha.
consistent
Gotcha.
sneaking around, consistent of just doing what you're not supposed to be doing. And then the inconsistency is like not doing what you should be doing. So it's lack of the relationship would make me end it.
So do you feel like that once the relationship is over and that person say, look, I'm changing, I'm going to counseling, that was happening because I just lost my mom or
Right.
something like that and I'm depressed, but I want us to work. So do you think like once you're done with the relationship, do you feel like you're able to say, you know what, I forgive you. Let's try to make it work. Let's get back together. Or do you feel like when you're done, you can say, I forgive you, but I ain't going back.
Yeah.
I'm moving
It's
forward.
more
Like, how does that
that
work
I
for you?
forgive you for my own sanity, but I'm gonna move on.
Right.
I'm not backtracking. But it depends on the situation. Because if it wasn't that bad and I had to cut ties with you because I had to grow on from you, I feel like time will tell. If you come out to me and say you changed, and based on the situation where I left you, if it wasn't that bad, okay, let me see. We're not gonna start off like, oh, we back together. But I'm gonna see you. You're gonna start getting slow. Time will tell. But I'm not gonna just jump back into it. It just depends. Like if you was cheating on me for a whole lot of time, and then you was going crazy, put your hands on me, I'm not going back because that was it. You ain't getting another chance. So it just depends on why I left you.
So with stuff like that, is it like, do you stop immediately or do you see if that's going to happen again? Like, do you end it because you're fed up with that situation happening, or like, are there things that's automatically deal breakers for millennials that ain't
It depends on the millennial. For me, it is, but I know a majority of millennials that'll continue to go back until they finally get fed up with it. But come a year later, you go on social media and they back together. So it just really depends on the millennial. Me, I have deal breakers. Put your hands on me, you're not gonna hear from me again. That's it. Cheating for me is a little bit different because like we young, we not married.
So is that a pass?
It's not a pass, but I might catch you in the next 20 years. I might forget it in the next 20 years, and we might work again then because now we older, we grown now. Like we young, we in high school.
So you think older people be like, because I'm gonna tell you like this. For me as an older person, if I'm done, I'm done. So just because we break up and I ain't dealing with you no more, you know what I mean? I may not have necessarily moved on because I still have that soul tie or that connection or that bond where, you know what, it's a possibility that I still love you. You know what I'm saying? It's a possibility. So I ain't dealing with you right now. I ain't with you. We ain't together. We ain't spending that time. But I ain't completely done with you. Then you may have an opportunity for me to renew the relationship. But if I'm done, done, deuces.
Yeah.
Deuces. Not. Spirit said no.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just different because I just feel like I'm the type of person I wanna work out what the problem is until I can't no more. I'm gonna try everything in my system not to end the relationship because when I date someone, I'm dating them for the long run. I'm not dating to say you my boyfriend for now.
Right.
Because like people like you don't know who you're gonna be the next couple of years. When I'm dating you, I plan to be with you the next couple of years. So I'm gonna try my best to work it out. Okay, maybe we too early. I'm gonna meet you later. I'm gonna see you later. Okay, back to me. Do you ever feel lonely or left out?
Maybe once in a blue moon. I used to, because I was used to being the popular girl. Like, for some reason, people gravitate to me. So I always had like a flock of friends. I always had people. Oh, we gonna hang out with Lisa, this and that, and the third. Not saying that I was all that. It's it was just a natural thing for people to gravitate to me. So even in my adult years, I was used to having like even a select few, but like people who I consider like ride or die, my select few. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And now it's not that anymore. So sometimes, like, you know, you look at social media and stuff, and you see people up there like hanging out and doing stuff like, Dad, why I ain't get invited to that? Why ain't you know what I mean? So stuff like that'll make me feel like, wow. So okay, so I wasn't good enough for that, but you won't call me for this. You know what I'm saying? Until I had to get to a point where, why do I want to be around people who don't genuinely want to be around me?
So you don't feel like it's because I know millennials my age, I always felt like as we get older, I thought like it was childish to feel left out when you're an adult.
No, because honestly, feelings are feelings, whether you're grown or whether you're young. And then a lot of millennials have that misconception. Like, perfect example. I can't remember which one of my kids got mad and was like, "Why you telling so and so this, that, and third?" And I'm sitting here thinking, but you talk about me to your friends all the time. Why do you feel like just because I'm old, I don't have friends? Like, I need to vent. I need somebody to talk to. It's not about talking about you. Mm-hmm. It's about the fact that the same way you talk to your friends.
Right.
My mama get on my nerves because she blah, 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 blah. And guess what she did? This and that, the third. I can be looking like, why are you telling my business? Right. Why are you telling this little girl, your little boyfriend, you know what I mean? But I look at it like, okay, you're venting to your friend. Just because I'm an adult don't mean I don't have friends, that I don't have to vent. You know what I'm saying? So even with the loneliness things, it's not, to me, it's not a childish thing. It's just like, okay.
Yeah, loneliness, I feel like that's...
Like, I'm human. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I feel left out. You know, I want to do something. I enjoy being a homebody. I enjoy being at home. But there are times where I want to go, I want to get out the house. So that's the only con with not having a bunch of friends. Because when I do want to get out of the house, it's like, who you going to call?
Right.
Who you going to hang with? Right. You know what I mean? Right. But I got to a point now, I'm so good and at peace with me and being with myself and hanging out with myself. You know, the 1, 2, 3, 4 people, if that I really call a friend, I'm good with that. And I respect the fact that I ain't being left out. You know, she married or she got this going on and this, that, and the third. I'm good. They got their life and I got my life. So, you know, that's just my take on that.
Okay.
Okay. So with this final question, and I think may be one of the most important questions. As a millennial who's really entering adulthood, what advice would your adult self like to give to your younger self?
I would give myself, don't blame yourself for everything. Like, it's okay that you didn't listen, but don't take the blame so hard on yourself. Like, you're young, you made mistakes, you still have so much growing to do. This was just a little step back, you're going to get back together. Don't take, you messed up, but don't think your whole world ended and it's all your fault. You should have listened. Like, just calm down, take it slow, be patient. I would tell myself to be patient for sure.
That's good advice. And I think what I would tell myself is take your time. Time is the one thing that you cannot get back. So don't rush for the next moment. Don't rush for the next step in life. You know what I mean? Enjoy where you are right now. Make the best of it and strategically plan so that the next step can be easier. The next step can go according to plan. You know, if you're a child, enjoy being a child. If you're a teenager, enjoy being a teenager. So that when you become an adult, you really can enjoy being an adult. A lot of times we miss out so much stuff that as an adult, we still being childish because we missed out on that rushing it. So I think that's the advice right now that I would tell my younger self.
Right.
Take your time and enjoy the time that you have. All right, besties and bros. So today's hidden secret is really not a secret. It came in the form of an email. One of our besties wrote me, well, actually sent me a DM and asked, what did it mean to me to actually forgive? And it took me a while to think about it. And my advice to them was that forgiveness is really for you. It's not for that other person. Because you really can't control that other person's actions or how they're going to respond to you. So when you learn to forgive somebody, then you let it off of you, and you can become better for you and whoever that it was that hurt you, or that did you wrong, or maybe that you did wrong or something like that. So forgiveness is really a personal thing. Once you can truly forgive somebody, then you can move on. You stop letting whatever that thing was have power to matter over you. So that is my advice. Take some time and learn how to completely forgive them and move on with yourself. Because at the end of the day, if you're still holding a grudge, you're still giving it power to matter. If you're still upset, if if it's still affecting you, whatever that thing was, if it's still bothering you, then you're still allowing that thing power to matter. So if it hurt you before, you're allowing it to continue to hurt you. So my bottom line take on forgiveness is learn how to completely forgive and move on. It's for you, it's not for the other person. So the sooner you're able to forgive and get it off of you, then the better you'll be. All right, guys. So we just wanted to remind you about our feature entrepreneur for the month, none other than the Mason Jar Chef. Yeah.
Yep.
So don't forget, his information is down below. He has Facebook, he has Instagram, and I think he may even have a Snapchat. I'm not sure about that, but you have to go and follow him so that you can see his different specials that he has, because he does different specials each weekend.
Right.
And then also he does catering too. When I tell y'all, it is the best.
I've been begging him to do the apple cheesecake jar.
I mean, the best desserts ever.
Yeah.
So he's very professional, very reasonable
fresh,
price.
clean.
His stuff is very, very fresh, which is why you have to get your order in by Thursday, because he does everything fresh by Saturday, which is delivery and pickup day. So don't forget, his information is down the bottom. Hit him up. You will not regret it. All right, guys. So before we go and end our show today, we always leave you with a motivational quote and something to think about. We did a lot of talking today about difference of opinions and how millennial thinks versus how adult think. And at the end of the day, it's still all the same. It's still a load that you carry. So we don't want to dilute your situation or your load because you're a millennial, and we don't want to feel like it's more on us because we're an adult. So just remember this one thing.
It's not how heavy the load is, it's the way you carry it.
Bye, guys. All right, besties and bros. So that is our show for today. We really hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to drop your comments down below and follow us on Instagram and Facebook, and go over to our website at www.chitchat.com. And you can subscribe to our website. That way you won't miss out on our blogs, our discussion topics of the day, or when we upload new videos. And remember, Chit Chat always listens to understand, not to respond. So if you ever have anything to say, don't forget, you can always talk to us. Bye.